good morning, children. In today's class of economic application, we shall take up a case study on the given extract. Okay. After reading the extract, we shall discuss the questions related to it and try to give some reasonable answer for them. Okay. Well, let us try to read the extract and answer the question that follows. Before that, I'm going to read out this extract for you, and the extract is like: labor refers to any physical and mental endeavor taken for the purpose of producing a good or a service. Okay. In India, in 2012, there were 487 million workers. That is the second largest after China. About 94% of Indian labor is involved in unorganized sector comprising semi-skilled and unskilled workers ranging from pushcart vendors to home-based diamond and gem polishing operators. The organized sector includes workers employed in the public sector and the private sector. Now this is an extract, so with reference to this, we'll try to discuss some question, as I said, and of course try to give some reasonable answer for the same. Alright, the first question that follows is: explain any 5 special characteristics of labor. Alright, now we're going to see labor has many characteristics. Of course, we have many characteristics of labor, but among them we are going to see 5 special characteristics of labor. Alright, so labor has some special characteristics which are not found in other factors of production. There are 4 factors of production: land, labor, capital, and organization or entrepreneurs, isn't it? Okay, so if you if you see all these 4 factors of production, you will see that labor has some special characteristics, features which are not found in other 3 factors of productions. Okay, what are those then? Well, they are as follows. First is labor is perishable. Okay, labor is perishable. Now what does it mean? See, if a worker does not, work on a particular day, then what happens is that his labor for the day is wasted. You understood? It is wasted. Why? Because you cannot store your labor. You cannot store your labor. So what does this show is that labor is perishable. You understand? Okay. So if you do not work for a day or for an hour or something like that, then your labor goes wasted. Alright, since it cannot be stored. Alright, so a laborer has to sell his labor immediately, irrespective of the prices. Prices means what? The wages. For every work that he does, he gets what? Wage. He gets money, of course, and that money is called wages, isn't it? So for every work that a labor does, they are paid the wages, isn't it? So therefore, the laborer has to sell his labor immediately, irrespective of the price. You cannot bargain. Like for example, you cannot say, if you give me, for 500 rupees for an hour, then only I'm going to work. Then if you do not get 500 rupees and if you do not work, then your labor goes wasted. Okay, so you cannot bargain that way. So, if you are, instead of 500 rupees, if you are paid 100 rupees also, if you work, then at least you'll be paid. Otherwise, the labor goes wasted. You understood? Therefore, the labor has to sell his labor immediately, irrespective of the wages that he gets. Okay? So, it is because of this feature also, labor has a very weak bargaining power. You cannot bargain. You bargain, and if you bargain, it's so hard that you'll be in loss. Like as I said, if you say I'm not going to work for 100 rupees per an hour, you have to give me 500 rupees, and if you do not work for 2-3 hours like that, then that labor is wasted. You understood? Okay. So you have to sell your labor immediately. So this way what you see is that labor, because of this feature, labor has a weak bargaining power as well. Okay. So that is the first feature of labor. And now let us see the second characteristics feature. The second is labor is an active factor of production. Yes. Now if you see, if you compare labor with other factors of production like land and capital, what you see is that land and capital are passive factor of production, and whereas if you see labor is an active active factor of production. So this way, it makes labor a special factor of production. You understood? See, land becomes active only when labor acts upon it. You understood? Okay, land becomes active only when labor acts upon it. Otherwise, land is a passive factor of production. You understood? Okay, likewise, capital also. You talk about one machine. You have a machine there. Okay, like for example, let's talk about a juice making machine. Okay, now that juice making machine is useless unless you put a labor on it. You understood? Okay. So what does it shows? It shows that land and capital is a passive factor of production and becomes active only when labor acts upon it. All right. So what does it show is that it shows that without labor, other factors of production, like as I said just now, land, capital cannot produce anything. Okay, so this makes labor a special factor of production. All right. Now let us see the third characteristics of labor. Then, well, see, labor cannot be separated from a laborer. Okay. Now what does this mean? See, land and capital can be separated from his owner. Okay, but labor cannot be separated. Say you have one plot of land. Now, if you sell it to someone, then what happened? Your ownership gets transferred to the person whom you are selling, isn't it? Therefore, land can be separated from an owner. The day you sell off your land to somebody else, then what happens? The ownership gets shifted, and similarly, what happens? Land gets separated from the owner. Okay, likewise, the capital also. You have one big factory building, for example, or a machine, etc. Now this kind, if you sell it off, you sell it off to another owner, then what happens? The ownership gets shifted and therefore capital gets separated from the owner, right? But if you see labor, it's not possible. In case of labor, you cannot separate, labor cannot be separated from the laborer. Okay, labor and laborer are what? Laborer is a person who does, and labor is so labor and laborer are inseparable from each other. That means it cannot be separated. You understood? So a laborer will have to be present himself at the place where the work is going on. You understood? Say for example, you are under construction. You are a construction worker, so you cannot stay at home and lend your labor to for someone to work at the building, factory building or a construction building. You understood? So it's not possible to separate a labor from a laborer. So a labor has to be what? He has to be present himself at a place where he is going to work or where the work is going on. So labor and laborer is not separate as it's not separable, or it cannot be separated, labor and laborer. Understood? So that is the third characteristics of labor. Now let us see the fourth characteristics of labor then. Well, see, labor is a mobile factor of production. Now what does this mean? See, labor, if you see, like as I was comparing labor with other factors of production, when you compare labor with other factor of production, you will see that labor alone is the only factor which is mobile. Okay, all right. So it mobile means what? Which can be moved from one place to another place. Okay, so labor can move from one place to another, and also from one occupation to another occupation. You understood? Okay. Whereas if you see other factors of production like land, other factors of production such as land, they lack this mobility factor. It's not possible, for a land to move. You cannot shift one plot of land from here to there. From one place to another place. You understood? So this feature also makes labor a special. Okay, so this is also one of the special characteristics of labor. That is, labor is mobile factors of production. Okay, now let us see the fifth characteristics of labor. See, labor differ in efficiency. Yes. Now see, when you compare, each labor, you cannot, when you don't see equal efficiency on everybody. See, all labor in what does it mean? It means that all laborer are not equally efficient. You understood? Okay, they do not have what? Same efficiency. Okay, some laborers, if you see some laborers, they may be more efficient than the other one due to their ability or due to the training and the education that they have acquired on their field of work. You understood? Okay, and some may be very skilled compared to the other one. Okay, whereas others might be less efficient compared to these workers. Others might be less efficient on the account of their what? Ignorance or illiteracy. Some of them, they don't want to upgrade themselves. So either they are very ignorant, they don't know about upgrading, how to upgrade their skill. Either they are very ignorant, okay, or they are very lazy. Okay, understood. So because of this, what happens is some lags behind and they are less efficient, whereas some are very conscious. What do? They try to acquire more education and more skill at their profession. You understood? Okay, they try to polish their work even better by undergoing various kinds of trainings. You understood? So all this makes labor different in the sense that they differ in efficiency. Some may be very efficient, some may be very poor. I mean, they may not be very efficient, and some may be mediocre, like that. So labor differs in efficiency. Okay, so these are the 5 special characteristics of labor we saw. Okay, now let us see the second question related to the extract. The second question says, with suitable examples, explain 3 classification of labor. Okay, 3 classification of labor. The question is asking. Okay, now see, on the basis of skill formation, labor can be grouped into 3 main categories. Especially, okay, that is, we are talking on the basis of skill. Okay, on the basis of skill, labor can be classified into 3 categories, and first is the skilled labor, second is the semi-skilled labor, and the other one is the unskilled labor. Okay, now let us briefly discuss what is skilled labor and semi-skilled labor and unskilled labor. Okay, though the types of labor is not included in your reduced syllabus, but still it's better we understand this terms. Okay, see, what is skilled labor then? See, skilled laborers, are those laborers who have specialized training for their what? Who have specialized training for a particular profession, and they also have a long practical knowledge about the work that they are doing. You understood? Okay. And these kinds of workers, these are the workers who are highly paid workers, because they not only have experience in their work of, in their field of work, but at the same time, they have also acquired what? A very high education or quality. They are very qualified in their field of work. You understood? Okay. So therefore, these are the workers who are highly paid workers. You understood? So if I have to give an example, we can take an example of lawyers, engineers, doctors. Now these kind of labors, they fall under this category of skilled labors. Okay, then we have the second type of labor, that is semi-skilled workers or semi-skilled laborers. Okay, so now who are semi-skilled laborers then? See, semi-skilled workers or laborers are those kind of workers who have only a part of professional training of their trade, but have a use or a sufficient experience in that line. You understood? They may not be having a diploma or a degree in their field of job or in the field of work. They may not be having such kind of degree or a diploma in their field of work, but they are very, very efficient or very, very skilled. Why? Because they've gained they have worked for such a long period of work, the same work they have been doing for such a long period of time, that they have gained use experience in their field of work. You understood? Okay. Now, like for example, carpenters, weavers, they don't hold any degree or a diploma, but yet they are very they are superb in their field of work. You understood? Okay. So workers like carpenters, weaver, goldsmith, etc., this kind of people, they fall under this category. Okay. All right. But the semi-skilled workers are paid comparatively a little less than the skilled workers. You understood? Okay. They may be very, very good at their art. Okay. They may be very good at their work, but yet they are paid less than the skilled workers. All right. Then we have the unskilled laborers. Now, who are unskilled laborers then? See, unskilled workers, okay, unskilled workers are mainly employed for carrying out, jobs which do not require any specialized professional skill. You understood? So unskilled workers does such kind of work where you do not require any degree or a diploma or any kind of what specialized professional skill. Okay, so such laborers, like for example, laborers who are employed for construction works like construction of houses the coolies you talk about. Okay, this kind of workers, comes under the example of what? Under the example of unskilled workers. Understood? Okay. And unfortunately, these are the people, these workers, they have to do a lot of physical work, of course, and they are the ones who are very poorly paid. And as the number is quite large in a less developed country like India, the number of unskilled worker is also such a lot, especially in a country like India. The concentration or the proportion of unskilled worker is very large in our country, and they are the ones who are poorly paid as well. You understood? So these are the on the basis of skill formation, these are the kinds of labor who falls under this category. Okay, so let us switch on to the next question. Question number 3 is define efficiency of labor. Okay, and briefly explain the impact of technology on the efficiency of labor. All right, now we'll see what is the meaning of efficiency of labor first. Okay, all right, now see. By efficiency of labor, what we mean a productive capacity of a worker. Okay, so what does it indicate then? It indicates the capacity of a laborer to do more work or a better work or both during a given period of time. You understood? Okay, so efficiency of a worker, will be more who produces more quantity of a better quality of product in a comparatively lesser time period. You understood? Okay, so a worker is called more efficient. That means a worker is called more efficient if he is able to produce more quantity of a better quality product in a less period of time. You understood? So in short, we can say that an efficiency of labor means what? A productive capacity of a worker. Okay, all right. Now let us see the impact of technology on the efficiency of labor. What kind of impact has technology on the efficiency of labor? Whether if this question, if we try to rephrase this question says that the impact of technology on the efficiency of labor means if you adopt a highly modernized technique of production, if you make use of modern technique of production, what will be on the efficiency? Or if you use an absolute or outdated kind of technology, in the production process, what will be the efficiency? That all those we are going to discuss here. Okay, so let us see the impact or the effect of technology on the efficiency of labor. All right. Okay, see, first is technology has a great impact on the efficiency of labor. All right. With the modern and updated technology, if you make use of, if the labor make use of a modern or an updated or a high class technology, then what will happen? The efficiency of labor becomes more, and then the productive capacity also increases. You understood? You know what is the meaning? I just told you what is the meaning of efficiency of labor. Efficiency of labor means what? The productive capacity of the labor, isn't it? So the productive capacity of the labor increases if you make use of what? Modern, updated technology in the process of production. He becomes more efficient. His efficiency increases. Okay. But on the other hand, what happens? The outdated technology have an adverse effect on the overall output. You understood? Okay. So, but on the other hand, if you make use of an obsolete and outdated technology, then that will have what? Adverse effect. Adverse effect means it will have a negative or an just opposite effect on the overall output. Okay. So even though the worker himself may be highly efficient, he may be very efficient. Okay. But due to outdated technology, he will not be in a position to make use of his talent properly. You understood? So this is the effect of what? Technology on the efficiency of labor. Okay. So in short, if you make use of modern advanced technology, then what happens? It will, help to improve his efficiency, and his productive capacity will also increase. But on the other hand, no matter how efficient he himself is, but if he makes use, of an outdated and an obsolete, technology, then that will, have an adverse effect, and he will not be in the position to give a better output, as well as he will not be able to make use of his talent properly. Therefore, his productive capacity will decrease. You understood? So this is the effect of technology on the efficiency of labor. Okay, the next question is question number 4. What are the causes of low efficiency of labor in India? Okay, now we're going to see this. We say that efficiency of labor in India is very low, isn't it? So now we're going to see the various causes behind it. Okay, all right. So, very often we say, as I said just now, the efficiency of what? Indian labor is much lower compared to those of the laborers in UK or USA. They say, no, we say it like that. Okay, so what are the reason behind it then? Why is the efficiency of Indian labor is very, very low compared to the laborers in UK, USA, etc. Okay, now we will see the reason behind this. All right. Okay, well, the very first reason is the hot climate. Yes, hot climate. Okay. By the way, remember that I'm talking from the Indian point of view. Okay. So we're going to discuss the topic here. Why the efficiency of Indian labor is very less compared to the rest in the world. Okay. First is hot climate. Yes. Now, see, India being a subtropical climate, it experiences a very hot and humid climate. Okay, so see, this is also one of the very, very important natural cause of low efficiency of what? Indian labor. Okay, because because in such a hot and humid climate, your efficiency level will definitely go down. As I said, because most of the time it will be very hot, and you'll be very tired, and you feel very lethargic. So in such circumstances, what happens? Your level of efficiency or the efficiency will go down. So this is one of the important and natural cause which leads to low efficiency of Indian labor. All right. Okay. Well, the next factor is, the next cause is the low wages. Yes, the wages of Indian, if you see the wages of Indian labor, the wages of Indian labor is very low. Okay, all right, because of which the standard of living of the people is also very low in India. Okay, so what is the result of this? The result of this is that they are poorly fed. Okay, and they are not at all in the position to keep themselves physically and mentally fit. You understood? Okay, so this in turn, obviously, it will affect the efficiency of labor. So money is a very important factor, isn't it? It works as a, money or a wage, it works as a catalyst, okay? It works as a catalyst for you to work hard. Okay, it is a very, it is a very, the higher wages and bonuses that we talk about are the, it works like a catalyst, as I said. In fact, it is a very good incentive for you to work hard. The more the wages, you get more encouragement to work hard. So obviously, your efficiency level will also go up if you are getting higher level of wages. But if your level of wages is very less, then obviously everything gets upset. You will not be in the position to maintain yourself physically and mentally fit. So the outcome will be what? Your efficiency level will go down. So this is one of the cause, okay, of low efficiency of Indian labours. All right. The next factor is, or the next cause is incongenial environment. Yes. See, very often what we see is that, the Indian workers have to work in such an unhygienic environment. You understood? The working environment where they work is very, very unhygienic, and they are hardly provided with facilities of canteens or recreation or relaxation. This kind of facilities are not there. Therefore, what happens? All this leads to the adverse effect towards their efficiency. Okay. See, you work hard. Alright, but at the same time, you also need some leisure time or some relaxation time, isn't it? Okay, this you work for 2-3 hours, means at least an hour of break you require for relaxing or for recreation, so that you re-energize yourself again, isn't it? Okay, but this kind of environment is not there. The working environment is very uncongenial and very unhygienic and very unhealthy. Because of this, it affects their efficiency. Understood? Well, the next cause is migratory character. Yes, this is very important. See, Indian, if you see, migratory character means, first of all, what I want to say is that, Indian workers are very, very migratory in character. You understand? Okay, so this kind of, or this type of migratory character will definitely affect their efficiency. To cite an example, if you see in India, majority of the laborers, they migrate from villages to the towns and the cities for work. Okay, and they work in factories and industries. Okay, they migrate from villages, they shift or they migrate to, to towns and cities, and there they work in some factories and industries. But at the same time, when the harvesting season comes, they grow crops and they come here. When the harvesting season comes, they again go back to their house. They migrate back to their house. They go back to their houses during harvesting season. And then they spend around 4-5 months, again they go back to the factories too. So that way, this kind of migratory character, there is no continuity of the work. So when do you, if you do not have continuity in your work, then you cannot gain experience, isn't it? Okay, all right. If you have such kind of break after 4 months or 5 months, every time if you keep breaking in between your job or work, then what happens is that you will not be able to gain experience. And if you do not have, if you do not gain experience in the work that you do, then you will not be able to be efficient. Efficiency level will go down, isn't it? Okay, so this kind of migratory character of Indian workers, like going to and fro from one, not only from migrating from villages to the towns for jobs, not only that, but also migrating from one job to another job. They are always, obviously, as I said just previously, that they are very, very, their wages are very poor. They are very paid very low. Okay, so because of that, the workers are always in the opportunity to get a better work and better wages. So the moment they get a little bit of better wages, they will move on, or they will migrate either to next job or next place. So this way, what happens? Their efficiency levels will go down. Okay, so this is also one of the causes. Okay, well, the next is education and training. Yes, see, if you see, Indian workers very often do not possess proper education and training, training of the work that they are doing. Okay, they hardly have any sort of education or training of the work that they are doing. Okay, so what happens is that they, they do have some education. They are not specialized. They don't get they do a little bit of work out of experience, or just because they have learned it from their forefathers or something like that, so they do not have proper education. They lack proper education, and also they do not have any training about the work that they are doing. Okay, so they just and in India, for producers also, they always look for, they don't give much importance for the workers who are educated and trained. They give a lot of importance for the workers who are ready to work in a low wages. Okay, so what happens is that they don't give importance to education and training. They give importance to what? To cheap workers. Okay, so that way also what happens, the workers also, they are ready to work. As I said, they hardly have any bargaining powers also. They are just ready to work at any amount of money that they are given by the producers. So they also don't bother about the education or the training about the work that they're doing. So this way what happens is that their efficiency will be very less. Okay. We saw so many causes right now. There are so many causes, of course. These are some the causes that I discussed right now are the main causes. Okay, so these are the causes why the efficiency of Indian labor are tremendously low in our country. Okay. Well, so these are the questions we answered related to this extract. Well, we shall end the lesson for today. Well, in the coming up classes, we shall continue with the other case study. So still then, stay tuned, stay safe.